Joining us now from everywhere, we got Joe Francis and Abby Wilson. Joe, we were just talking, off the air. Yeah, you called. We had this whole confusion of how this was all going to work, but we were chatting a little bit a minute ago, and you're down in Mexico. And Abby, where are you?
I am in Mexico as well.
Okay, are you guys together in Mexico? You're just not. It's a phone thing. You each needed your own phone.
Yes, we each needed our own phone so we can sound nice and crisp to your listeners.
Good. You do. You sound crisp. You sound totally crispy. And I'm sure being down in Mexico, you're getting a little crispy. What are you guys doing down there? Just a little, millionaire vacation kind of deal?
A little bit of R&R, post-couples therapy push here. So we were really busy last week. We just got here last night. We were really busy last week in Los Angeles promoting the premiere of Couples Therapy, so we thought we'd take a little break.
Well, let's talk a little bit about couples therapy right off the bat. Couples therapy premiered last Wednesday on VH1. It's Dr. Jen Berman. She's the doctor, and it's got a lot of people we've had on the show. Flava Flav, Chingy. We've talked to those people on the show before. You're on there. We have not talked to you before, but now we are. And it's essentially intensive relationship therapy, but on TV, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely intensive therapy. It's real therapy. We thought it would be more of a reality show, which I've done hundreds of them, but it was actually a real therapy session. And Dr. Jen Berman and Dr. Mike Dow are real therapists that put you through, weeks and weeks of intense couples therapy, and we really feel like we actually got a lot out of it, as a couple.
I've got to imagine that. I mean, Abby, I don't know much about you, but I'm assuming you're a fairly normal girl. Joe, you seem like that you'd need seasons, 3 through 16 of couples therapy. I mean, you've got to.
Probably.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I mean,
I would love to do all of those seasons of couples therapy.
It seems like you've got a lot,
3
Joe.
to 16 of individual therapy.
I mean,
but
either Abby's very, very, very comfortable with you and what you do, or it would take a lot of couples therapy because your life is deeply ingrained in other women. I mean, your life and your work. So it's got to be hard for Abby to deal with that, I would assume, right?
Well, I just view it as it's his job, and I'm very comfortable with it. I'm very comfortable with our relationship and where we stand. And so, especially now after couples therapy, we're doing so well. So, it's a job, and that's the way I have to view it, and realize at the end of the day, he's coming home to me.
That is true. You got a good one there, Joe. Hang on to her. Hang on.
Yes, it's
Don't mess this one up. Definitely, we'll check you out.
They don't make it easy, by the way.
Yeah, well, of course not. I know women. I want to know what is the deal, Joe? Is it just your line of work or what? But for some reason, why are you always in trouble? I mean, every time you're in the news, it's for something other than this. I haven't seen your name in the news for anything other than oh my gosh, poor Joe. Forever, it seems like you're always. Recently.
Yeah. Look, it's exactly right what you mentioned before, because of the business I'm in, and because of the nature of the business I'm in, I'm a target. And, just like the same way that Hugh Hefner went through the exact same things. Hugh Hefner is 50 years older than I am. But people forget, because it went through the exact same things and the exact same accusations before, the tide turned on him and he came out of it and they left him alone. Larry Flint the same way, almost exactly. And it goes with the territory. It just, they come after you from every which way. It's sex. It's a way for politicians, who are coming after you, and people who come after you, lawyers, to get their name in the press. Everything is a story if it involves either Joe Francis or Girls Gone Wild.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think Abby can attest to the fact that it's yes, you hear and you read all of these things, and we were actually doing an interview last week for E, and the same question came up, and it's more it's more out there. It's the disconnect from the reality is pretty far. What the press writes is kind of insane. We both read it, and we're like, whoa, and well, we're in the Maldives, swimming in, swimming in the ocean, or we're in India. It's like this stuff is like not real. It's like it's happening in the press, but it's like it's not really happening. Abby, is that a good way to describe it?
Yeah, it definitely is. You see that from the outside. I think it looks like your world around you is crumbling, and like I would be wondering how in the world you're doing. But yeah, we're living, a wonderful life.
Yeah, everything's fine.
A very stable life, and it's like a very stable life in a home, and like these things aren't really happening. Like I really didn't false imprison 2 girls. It's like, or 3 girls or whatever. They all lied about it, and it's like that's what the press it's just like ridiculous.
Is that
the things that they come up with are ridiculous, but they become almost indefensible at a point because how do you go after? When we were in India when that came out, so. I actually made a commitment to Abby. I wasn't going to Google my name for 3 weeks. Now, that was sort of a mistake because these things, a story can come out and just go crazy by itself. And by the time you get around to start fixing it, it's
out of control.
Got a life of its own.
I mean, recently the sex tape story, is that one's done now? Because the latest we're hearing is that Steve Hirsch, your buddy from Vivid, bought your sex tape and isn't going to release it. Bought it kind of as a friendly gesture to just get it off the market. Is that the end of that story?
He did. That actually just happened this morning. In fact, I'm surprised you know about that.
We know everything here, Joe. That's got to be cool. I mean, what do you do for a friend?
Good.
What do you send that guy like a watch or something as a thank you? I mean, that's a pretty big thing to have, not looming over your head.
I'll probably send him a car because he probably paid a lot of money. There were 2 routes to go there. There was the FBI route, which could have closed, but there was still some risk in the tape getting in other hands. And if Steve just bought it. It's gone. It's erased. It's done. And it's out of our lives. And we deleted every other tape we had too. So you won't see Abby and I having sex unless you're at our house anytime soon.
Good to know for you guys. You don't have to worry about that. I want to know. You talked about like Googling your name.
It's good to have friends in the porn business, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, I can imagine.
In situations like this.
Yeah, you're my only friend in the porn business, so that's all I know. But our one connection that we have with you, Joe, is this. We interviewed Jade Nicole back in 2009, and your name came up once in the interview because I'm sure she hates you and thought, had these accusations about you. And like last year, we got a big letter from your lawyers threatening to sue us if we didn't take that interview down off the internet. So I'm like, do you just have lawyers that are full-time out there just looking for any Joe Francis stuff, like ready to pounce?
Well, especially stuff like Jade Nicole, because and probably what it wasn't you. They went after everybody who said that I started it with Jade Nicole, which was the misconception out there. And Abby is actually an eyewitness to the event. Abby, you were there that night, and you were standing right next to Jade Nicole. What happened?
Yes, I was standing there right now.
As the district attorney,
let's not get back into it. Let's not get back into it.
It was an unprovoked attack. She attacked me. She took a wine glass and she snapped. I was turned around, and as the district attorney said, I was a victim of an attack by her, a vicious attack.
So essentially,
and people just had it wrong on their websites, and then we just forced people to correct their websites, or they were going to get sued because of. When you have these things out there, like Jade Nicole kept saying that I attacked her, which wasn't the case at all, which the district attorney of Los Angeles said wasn't the case at all. And we actually won some lawsuits, so you probably changed it, but we actually won a lot of money on that because people had said that somehow I attacked her, which wasn't the case at all, which was a complete lie.
Yeah, we just took it. We just listened to you. Anything, if you told us to take it down, we're like, whatever.
Appreciate that.
We don't want to get sued. I mean, hopefully not now that we're best friends. I mean, now hopefully we'll just know each other and won't sue each other. But watch these guys on VH1 Couples Therapy. We are already out of time, but hopefully we'll talk to you again.
Wednesday night, 9 p.m.
I wanted to be really hard on you and have be a jerk to you, Joe, and you're way too nice, man. I couldn't get over your I see why you fell for him, Abby. Abby Wilson and Joe Francis of Girls Gone Wild. Thank you guys so much for taking the time for us here.
Thank you, man.
Very much.
Appreciate it.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.